Her father, Seth. However, her relief was short-lived. He looked angry enough to catch hornets, and she almost wished it was just her and the Carnotaurus again. "Dad!" Ridley gasped. "I'm so sorry. Shh," her father said, raising one finger to his lips. He pulled her deeper into cover, burying her into the moss and earth like a worm. One hand rested on his rifle, the safety flicked off. She'd only seen him fire it once, but he looked ready to take on anything that moved. For me, she realized. He's willing to risk his life for me. A low rumble vibrated through the air, and the stench of rotten meat filled the air. Ridley swallowed hard and twisted her head, her eyes widening at the sight. The monstrous dinosaur was close, so close it loomed above them. Legs the size of tree trunks stood mere feet from their hiding spot, vicious claws tipping each toe. A head the size of a boulder hovered above the ground, sucking air into its gaping maw while teeth that looked like daggers glinted in the sun. Ridley smothered a horrified gasp. She'd never been that close to a predator before, especially one that big. It was the stuff of nightmares, and she was sure she'd have trouble sleeping for many weeks. If we make it out of this alive. The proximity of death was enough to send her into a panic. All her training immediately deserted her, and her brain turned to mush. Tears burned her eyelids, and her lips began to quiver. She was on the verge of a panic attack and had no idea how to stop the slippery descent into chaos. As if he knew what was happening, Seth looked at her with dark eyes she'd inherited. Her mother always said she looked and acted just like her father. Ridley had always taken pride in that fact, trying to live up to his reputation for courage and bravery. But at that moment, she felt like a scared little girl, not brave at all. Seth placed one hand on hers, his touch steadying her nerves. With silent words, he reassured her, mouthing the phrase, "It will be all right." It was enough to pull Ridley from her funk, and she snapped back into focus. If her dad said everything would be okay, she believed him. He'd never lied to her in his entire life, and she knew she could trust him. They'd always had a special bond forged in blood and bone. With a slight nod, she showed him she was back in control, and he relaxed slightly. Together they waited in hiding, praying the predator would move on. The Carnotaurus lingered for several moments, its fearsome presence like a cloud of acid in the atmosphere.